Hello and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm the executive producer here, John Bates, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First of all, I'd like to thank our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, Samantha Bates, and Maureen Montee, without whom we wouldn't be able to do much, especially not all the content that we put forward now. I also want to thank all the people that have joined on with us since the, I would say, successful experiment that was Midsummer Night's Stream. If you're interested in that, go check out our YouTube channel, where youtube.com/Sensaku, where we performed the world's first, as far as we're aware, live stream production of a community theater performance of A Midsummer Night's Dream. That sounds like a lot of qualifiers. It's more just because that's the way I talk. Please go enjoy them, give us feedback, let us know if you'd like to see more of that in the future. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so on our Patreon page at patreon.com/FSFilms. You can also follow us on Twitter at Final Show Films, or follow me personally at John A. Bates for all future updates and live notifications for our live stream. In the meantime, sit back, relax, enjoy. And we're live! Hello everybody, welcome back to Gran Terra Rebirth. I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films, and Game Master for the evening. Also in pain because my feet have been shorn of the lowest level of skin. With me today is William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Gashkar Stormcaller, the half-orc barbarian. I'm not going to say my character from the last campaign this time.
And Jeremy.
Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Harry, the Halfling Battle Master fighter.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Hope Azamar, Rogue Barbarian Monk.
And Aaron.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Lulu, the Halfling Bloodhunter Lycanthrope.
And Cody.
I'm Cody. I'm playing Corbin, the Human Battlemaster / Paladin.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Gwynferon Manar, the High Elf Divination Wizard, as well as Ashkel, the Wood Elven Warlock who lives in his brain.
And if I ask people to repeat themselves tonight, I apologize. The headphone jack that I use for my computer has begun acting up and occasionally stops sending audio to my headsets. So I have to reach out and adjust whenever I can't hear anybody. So when last we left off on Gran Terra Rebirth, there was a murder. There was a murder most foul, which is being investigated by the Rangers, at which point interactions occurred. And one of the members of the party got arrested temporarily, bailed, and then half the party decided to leave the town to go investigate, theoretically, the writings of an ancient dragon. While outside, they found a den of manticores that they handily slew. And the other half went back to talk. The other half, and by other half I mean two of them, stayed in the city to talk to the guild master of the Adventurers Guild, Tithian, see if he could get them an audience with High Captain Lorian regarding said murder most foul. We pick back up outside the city with the group that had just finished slaying a bunch of manticores. So, Gashkar, Harry, Lulu, and Gwynferon, you stand in a cave surrounded by the dead. And by the dead, we mean manticores.
So as Gashkar kind of sits down on the ground and just kind of leans back for a minute, and she kind of like grabs the head of one of the corpses and just kind of tilts it for a minute, gets a little bit inquisitive for a minute, kind of looks at the rest of the group. What are we even called? I feel like as we start doing more levels of the tower, we're going to build up some notoriety and no one knows what to call us.
I will also remind Jack that you just came back from an extraplanar journey inside a Planetar's body.
Oh yeah, and then I left the cave and went and cast
say,
Contact
Lulu,
Other Plane. I'm nowhere around.
Lulu was going to go look for Gwynferon because he's stalked off.
I say we call ourselves Gashkar, Harry.
That's a very long-winded name to try and describe the people that have been going up the tower.
That's because we're not a formal band of anything right now. And so giving us a name would be disingenuous at best.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, seriously. So you, me, look at it. Do we have anything in common other than we like going into this weird changing tower and fucking shit up?
We also like going out and hunting manticores and going out and killing other things and fighting things.
Okay, yes, we kill things. So do lots of other people.
GM, would I be hearing this or would I have been gone by this point?
Gwynfron didn't move too terribly far away, as far as I recall. He just sort of stepped outside the cave.
100 yards tops. Yeah.
So yeah, you can
So
still...
if I can get eyes on Gwyn and just see that he's not headed further.
Yeah.
Jack, I'm understanding he's not.
No, he's not.
As long as he's not like leaving in a way that might be dangerous to him. I don't know about the contact of other planes, so that's not a Lulu will head back in. Well, there is that other thing.
Oh yeah, supposedly we're also all connected via past lives and past in iterations of the world.
Yeah. I thought Gwyn was going to explain this part to you at some point. Did he just never... There was something about seasons and the world dying and renewing itself that I didn't really understand. And we all knew each other in a past life.
And after a few moments of just blank stare, hilarious, non-stop, like on the ground, rolling laughter.
Looking over to Gashkar. Did I explain it wrong?
No, you explained it about as well as could be expected. It's honestly
like, yeah. Gwyn was more.
My suspicion would be that Harry either doubts the legitimacy of that statement, or this is how Harry is attempting to process that.
Okay.
After a few, wait. You're not joking?
No, I don't know. No, so it's not all of us. It's the four of us. The two that stayed in the town aren't, or Gwyn Eshkill, or the other person he was in between that he doesn't know about was.
Man, I don't even remember what happened yesterday. I'm pretty sure I don't have memories going back to another life. Come on.
I mean, neither do I, but that doesn't mean the past life didn't happen.
The only one who knows about that stuff is Gwyn, because he can see the past and future, and also his ex-girlfriend showed up at one point. Ex or current?
Eshkill's girlfriend.
Yes. Yeah, the past.
Yes, the past person's girlfriend.
Oh, come on.
Had a past life.
Now you've got to be joking.
The past
No,
person's
she was
past
the
girlfriend.
Child of a lot of gods that were one god, I think.
Yes.
That part got confusing.
That it's all of the godlike energy that got consumed in the last cycle and did not come back formed the God Emperor.
And he had a kid who's the reincarnation of Gwynferon's past lives girlfriend.
Yes. That is accurate.
She just looks really proud of herself.
That's honestly, parsing that is a good task.
Okay, come on, seriously. What book did you guys steal this story out of?
I can't read.
I also only really read Draconic and occasionally Orcish. I don't really read your common tongue that well.
Yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, yeah.
No, this is a thing. Gwyn said.
Maybe you should trust the diviner on the things that he knows.
I don't know if you guys have noticed, but we take a lot of what Gwen says because diviner at face value.
Well, I don't. I mean,
Has he
this
been
one-
wrong thus far?
You know what a diviner can conceivably do? Ooh, I see in the future. You're going to do everything I say and go everywhere I tell you to do.
He's
I mean,
never
yes,
remotely said
that's
any of
the
that.
point because he's not lying. Also, the
Good
reason we're
one.
going to do that is because they're in charge now, gesturing sort of.
Has this just turned into an episode of Psych? Mhm.
Yes.
Look, I am down for continuing going in the tower and fucking shit up on a regular basis so we can fix the world or whatever that is. I'm just saying. There's a reason for healthy skepticism when someone says, no, I can see the future because I can do magic and I can see the past. And this take everything I say on its face.
Oh, she'll sort of perk up. You've met Ashkill. You already know about this stuff. Ashkill is one of Gwen's past lives.
From what I understand, there was an intervening
He
member.
wasn't there initially when we first met Gwen.
Fakir, the intervening if clause.
Right. Okay, no. I have that too. Hello, my name is Steve. I am Steve the Halfling. I am one of Harry's past lives. See, I can do it too!
That is still the same voice coming out of your face.
Well, I could change my accent if I wanted to. I just don't want to.
Also,
Because Jeremy's really bad at accents.
also, there is a notably different person in Gwen Ferron's mind.
Cool.
I would know. For one, I am
All right.
I am in a close relationship with one of them and not the other one.
You could probably. He has magic spells. He probably has spells that would let you determine the truth for yourself, right? And you can use it with the hand thing.
Wait. So, a spell that comes from him will determine whether he's telling the truth. No,
so
I get
the
what you're saying.
magic that you're casting the magic. Just
Right,
when
right.
Gashkar makes the house. It's not Gwen making the house. We could also ask. There are people with probably truthy magic in town. We could
Yes,
get
there
a
definitely.
magic from one of them, and you could use that to learn the truth. We'd probably still have to ask Gwen what spells might reveal that. I don't know how magic works very well. I just curse people with my blood.
So, Gwenferon,
Yeah.
you've been talking to this other plane.
Mhm.
You've received all your answers.
Cool.
What you doing now?
He's going to take a minute and just kind of decompress. He's going to sit down. He's going to pull out some water. He's going to lean back against a tree or something. And he's just going to drink and sit until somebody comes to find him.
All right.
But my original question was more of like, Valor Sanguinus doesn't really have a whole lot of personal connection on a personality level, but they constantly adventure together and people know them as that group. I feel like at a certain point, the people who have been consistently heading up the tower and solving it, apparently, because we're apparently the only ones who have been able to do that, will need something to be known by other than, hey, you 6 or 7 people.
I mean, they can call us what they want to call us, I guess.
The people who would want that are not people I really want knowing more about me. I don't like those people very much.
I mean, that's fair. But at a certain point, if they have a group name to call us by, they don't need to go to you specifically to learn more information. There's a certain diffusal that comes with being known as a group rather than as a group of individuals.
I'm in this shit for the challenge, not for the glory, so. Whatever works, honestly. I am not picky about group names.
We could ask Gwen if we had one last time.
That would be highly amusing, but I suspect the same one would probably not be useful.
Wait. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and predict that it is something that it revolves around the something that revolves around the what's the other guy's name? The other guy's name?
Eshkill? I don't know who
Eshkill,
the one in
yes.
between was.
I'm gonna predict it's something that revolves around Eshkill.
I think Fakir was the name that he said for the medium one.
And the lady who was the daughter of a lot of gods called us things.
Yes.
But I don't remember.
I mean, do you ever notice how nobody's like, yeah, in my past life, I mopped the floors of this diner.
Generally speaking, my understanding in that regard is that someone
that part I got. That part I sort of understood. There was a magic that fucked up and powerful wish granting.
Generally speaking, I would say that the reason that no one says in their past life they mopped floors is because that soul finished its business and didn't need to be reborn again.
Wait a minute. So you're saying that soul's entire purpose for being was to make sure that the fucking, I don't know, I can't think of the name of a shitty tavern at this point.
The Prancing Pony.
The cleanest, least sticky floors each night that it possibly could.
Well,
that tavern presumably got blown up with the rest of the world, so I guess they don't need to mop that tavern anymore.
So which of these would you want to go back and make sure you finished properly? Oh, I just got done living the life of cleaning a floor. Or I just died before I could stop the end of the world from happening. Which of those would you feel like you should go back and fix?
Neither.
I'd say, fuck it, I'm in the afterlife. Where's my whatever supposed reward I'm supposed to get is?
You didn't get that reward because you failed to stop the end of the world.
Well, sucks to be me.
You could go back and fix
Guess
it.
I'm stuck in the devil's mouth with everybody else.
Gwen, it doesn't seem like they're done talking.
He doesn't care.
Okay.
This is clearly a difference of perspective that probably won't be solved by one conversation.
If they're not done talking in 15 minutes, he's taking a nap.
I feel like the best solution is magic, because magic is supposed to solve all of our problems, and we should just ask the diviner about things.
That is...
Are you
I
being
agree with
salty
that
about
tone
the
in
thing you
reference to the
said?
divine.
Okay. Clearly, there are multiple things going on with any given character at any
Right.
given time.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's just amusing.
Let's ask the diviner about things and not disrupt the civilization and it's being weird and gross.
You know the civilization says the same things about you.
Yes, I do. But at least I know that we both say the same things about each other. Or they just...
They're
the same
probably
in
aware
their
of
own
it
way.
to a certain extent. Some of them are, at least.
You really, really... I know you think you come from a similar place, but you really, really don't.
I know I don't. I come from somewhere between all of this.
You come from a civilization that just happens to have a lot of dragons. And I'm going to run off and find Gwen.
You turn around and find him very swiftly, sitting against a tree, having fallen asleep.
Okay. I mean, I'm not a wolf anymore, but I'll just lean up there and... Honestly, I need a nap. I need at least a short rest, so I'm going to do that.
I mean, fallen asleep. Trance, but yeah.
Okay, so you're presumably aware that
I assume I'm fairly aware.
I'm simply using the terminology you used, Jack.
That's fair. That's reasonable.
Yeah. So Lulu comes up, sort of looks over, sniffs, sits down.
Is Lulu still in wolf?
I mean, no, that lasts a few minutes at most. That would have worn off by this point.
Yep.
Anyway, something to consider for later. And Gashkar also heads out.
Sure, you do you, old friend.
Something
and then
like
she
that.
bursts into laughing again.
You need me to find more things to kill.
I would like all 4 of you to make a perception check for me, please.
Well, we know this will go well.
Smell or hearing?
This is hearing based.
Okay.
19.
I really should have taken that.
Oh, I shouldn't have advantage, but 4.
20.
That means you rolled an 8.
Yes, it does.
Oh, wonderful.
So everyone except for Harry, who can't hear anything over the sound of her own laughter, hears off in the distance, not too terribly far away, the loud beating of wings and the crunching of a tree.
Gwen, you were looking for a dragon?
Well, we might as well go look.
Ice Spout. I can't whistle right now, my lips are dry.
I'll go back and let Harry know. Hey, we're gonna go do things other than kill. I think talk to a dragon, ask dragon about books.
Well, just in case it becomes a kill situation, I'll come along with.
Harry's like, that is the least interesting thing you can do with a dragon.
Right? So many more.
Gwyn will walk in the direction of deforestation.
Cool. So you guys sort of head towards where the sound of cracking tree was. And after walking for a few minutes, you find the body of a wyvern, having been basically tossed through a series of trees.
What
Back
kind of
trace.
wyvern?
This one is more of a traditional non-elemental affiliated wyvern.
Okay, so just a plain wyvern.
Yeah.
This one's a regular wyvern, not a bougie wyvern like you have. Yeah. Gwyn will look at the wyvern. I assume it's dead.
Yes.
Right.
Very dead.
And then backtrace to see where this wyvern possibly originated.
Yeah, investigation roll.
Hey, I'm proficient at that. I rolled another one.
So, starting off strong.
God.
Yeah, have you noticed that since you picked up this staff, you started rolling way more ones?
It's almost like that's what the story wants.
So Gwynferon turns to look, and as you turn to look, you find yourself looking not on the forested scene that you had previously been looking at, but instead you find yourself looking at a massive tentacled beast, kind of like an octopus, but way larger, just sort of floating past you in this massive oceanic visage that you found yourself in.
Am I a Gith again?
You look down and you see that you have hands that have sort of finned webbing between your fingers, and look further down, and you've got more of a fish-like lower half of your body, with a trident sort of just floating next to you, tethered to you by some seaweed.
And I assume I'm in the water?
Yeah, you are in the water. You're
Welcome,
underwater.
welcome to the life of a Triton.
You are under the water currently.
Do I happen to have like green gloves and an orange Speedo and
No.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Good to know.
So it was fish scale. Thank you.
Does the big tentacly thing look threatening?
No, it looks like it's just going about its day. Meanwhile, everyone else, Gwen turned around and stopped.
Man.
Weeborn, is that you again?
This is getting very tiresome.
What's causing that?
I'm not certain.
Eveborn's getting done with my shit.
Whispering to the other two. We're having an intervention once we bunker down for the night about this, right?
I don't know if he's in control of it either.
Well, we're still...
We need to figure out what's going on, yes.
The assumption of interventions, as I understand it, is it's usually because they're not in control of it.
Usually because it's something that person is doing that is destroying them. I don't think this is something Gwen is doing. I don't think you can let me put it this way. Can you intervene for someone who is not involved?
Well,
if I were to
the person who hits things really hard, the person who also hits things really hard but with lightning, and the person who hits things really hard but with a variety of curse-based damage, I think Gwen probably has the best chance of working towards a solution. So that's the thing. We're intervening to make sure he knows what's going on.
Yes, I think we definitely need to bring up what is going on. But my question is, if you're not being attacked by a monster, can I intervene to protect you from that monster?
I mean, you could figure out where the monster is and why it's coming after me.
Yes, but if it's not going after you, am I really intervening at that point?
So, Gwen, you can give
my
me a
head
nature
hurt.
roll, by the way.
I feel like there's just two halflings with like the little confused signifier above their head.
Like,
Gashkar Stormcaller, the most pedantic of barbarians.
what the actual legitimate fuck are you talking about?
I don't know. It's your weird language.
No, it's not. And then in your head, I talk like this.
Oh, you do, yes, but Harry talks with the mouth.
I switched to halfling, and I talk like this, motherfucker.
That's fair.
Okay, that's fair. I can do that too in halfling.
Gwen Ferron, give me a nature roll, please.
Gladly.
You have been able to determine that you are in the body of some form of marrow that is native to the plane of water, elemental plane of water.
Okay. I'm just going to see how fast I can swim until this wears off.
Are you chasing after the Kraken?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you chase after the Kraken for a bit. Eventually, you're flailing about in the water because you are not a swimmer. Attracts the attention of the Kraken. And as it turns around and you sort of start to get a glimpse of its like sort of primary face, just as you're about to get a really good view, you pop back into your body.
Wow, it's going to suck to be that guy.
We need to figure out what is happening and why that keeps happening, Gwen, at some point.
Yes. My brain seems to shift out. My consciousness seems to leave its normal home and just sort of set up shop in somebody else's. And at least when it sets up shop, I'm more or less temporarily in charge, and then eventually my consciousness returns.
Weeborn is getting very annoyed having to pilot you while you're gone.
Yes. No. Yeah. I feel like once I rest, I'll be able to.
Person thing.
I've never heard of this happening to anybody before. Unfortunately, we've got some rather imperative objectives that I don't think allow for me to take a couple weeks and do hardcore research at the Black Archives. And even so...
What are all your passive perceptions, by the way?
20.
Hold
6?
on.
I think.
Check.
It's only 14.
My bet is on 6.
Though I'm supposed to be
Yeah.
better at smelling stuff than other people.
So Lulu, Gwyn, and Gashkar become aware of the fact that there is a large dragon head hovering basically right above Harry.
Yes.
Harry
And
is
so
it's right
completely
behind
unaware.
me.
So Harry's in the middle of the conversation, and Gashkar just kind of like tilts the eyes up a little bit.
This dragon is of a brass color. It has this sort of metallic sheen to its scales, and the head is the head has been lowered, and the body is apparently perched on top of the trees. So you've just got this long neck coming down through the tree line, and the head hovering about 10 feet above Harry.
Does the dragon just go?
No, it's just looking at you all. Hasn't said anything.
Harry, in
What
your
the-
mind, you hear, look up,
Is there something in my teeth?
look up.
There's a dragon above you, Harry.
Good afternoon.
Are we fighting this one or talking to it?
I think talking first.
The head that you see is larger than the entirety of the wyvern that Gashkar has next to her.
You say that like that's going to dissuade
No.
Harry.
I'm giving you that as a descriptor.
That's an enticement.
It makes Harry more excited.
That is the
Harry is aroused.
the dragon could fit Ice Pelt in its mouth easily.
Would
All
you
right.
happen to be Max and Dan?
I'll be ready.
The head tilts to one side. Yes, I am.
Have you ever heard of an individual's consciousness at random departing to various other places in the multiplanar realities and inhabiting temporarily the bodies of other, I assume, sapiens?
The head turns and lowers so that the right-hand side of the face is the only thing really visible to you, and the right-hand eye is sort of directly looking at Gwynferon.
The usual dragon profile, yeah.
Yeah, and the arch that could only be transcribed in humanoid terms as an eyebrow raises.
I was afraid of that.
No.
Oh, that's something for another time. But I believe we had specific questions, didn't we, Gwyn?
Yes, I have a copy of your book. Pulls it out.
The head, once again, the head pulls back a little bit. Perhaps it'll be easier if I come down there.
Wait a minute. Who is this scaly motherfucker exactly?
The large brass dragon begins to climb down the trees. And you see it basically sort of grabbing, and lowering itself. And as it lowers itself and as its hind claws hit the ground, it begins to shrink rapidly as this massive form shrinks down rapidly into the form of a human with fairly tanned, dark skin, long, sort of brass-colored hair hanging down to the middle of his back that's been swept back. These piercing golden eyes. And wearing kind of like a robe, but with the up half of the robe just sort of hanging around the waist rather than actually on, so the waist up is bare and waist down is covered, with little aspects of dragon scale appearing where traditionally humans would have body hair instead of scales. Now, slightly shorter than Gwynferon, sort of steps closer to the group.
Would you be inclined to inscribe an autograph? And Gwyn pulls out a quill.
He raises an eyebrow. Sure.
But really, who is this asshole?
I am Maxon Dantalus, and this mountain range and forest are my territory.
Right. Cool. So since Gwen is fanboying all over you, do you have some bullshit past life story too?
No.
Okay. I just want to be clear on everything. I'm gonna be over here, next to this tree.
He takes the book and opens it up to sort of the inside of the front cover and just inks his name in.
Thank you very much.
Hands it back. Was that literally the only thing you came out here for?
No, that was more a impulse of the moment. We're trying to find further information on an ancient red dragon. One affiliated with, and he would describe the sort of mountain range wyverns, whole shebang, territory-esque environment.
That certainly sounds like a dragon of the Dragon Peaks to the south. There are 2 red dragons there. Both fairly ancient. Both fairly isolated as well. Is there anything more that you can give me detail-wise? Perhaps the reason for your hunt?
And he will explain the Dragon Queen's tongue in the petrified fist, in the hoard, ruby gold inlaid chain whip, with a dragon sitting on top of it, because there's a big treasure pile, that sort of thing.
So you're looking for an ancient red dragon that likes to turn their prey into statues and add them to their treasure hoard. That is more specific. That would be Penoth.
Furiously scribbling things down in his notebook.
Gesundheit.
Penoth is a collector of sorts, even more so than most of her kind. Red dragons are notorious for being hoarders. They like to collect and gather things that are shiny. Penoth will gather literally anything, including prey and people. She has a collection, if you survive the encounter, she has a collection of what she refers to as artisanal cattle that she prefers to dine on. I'm not quite certain what that word means when applied to cattle, but I'm sure you could ask her.
Pretentious.
I
That's what it means.
Oh my god,
only-
it's an ancient hipster dragon.
I only halfway understand the artisanal term in most common.
I don't understand it at all. What does this word mean? Why is everyone reacting to this word? I don't know. It is a kind of monster?
No,
It's a means of production.
It's
Very
trying to
specialized.
It's trying to say that I make the coolest people statues.
Her pride exceeds
So
that of
you-
most other red dragons, as does her vanity.
I made it with my own hand. It's not store-bought people
Lulu
statue.
looks really confused. I thought red dragons were the fire dragon.
I mean, sure. Okay, short version of it. Are we killing this
Penarth?
pnant?
Maybe.
I wouldn't be surprised if it comes to that. Collectors
be surprised.
generally aren't merchants. They generally like to accumulate. They probably don't want to trade or any sort of other thing. Unless I'm very much mistaken, Max and Dentalus.
No, you're all quite correct.
In that case, I respond, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm interested.
I'm confused, but I know what we're going for, so works for me.
Do you know anything about the wyverns that apparently haunt the area? Would you assume they're affiliated?
The Dragon Peaks, the dragons of the Dragon Peaks tend to have barbarian tribes that serve them. And amongst those barbarian tribes, they bequeath wyverns that have been gifted with attributes of those dragons. It looks over at Gashkar. You have one of the barbarians from that land with you. I would assume you would know that much. The wyverns you saw likely were hers.
Yes, that was our working theory. Good to know.
If you wish to know specific locations, that would be a question more tenable for one of those dragons within the peaks. I assume you know at least one, he says, looking at Gashkar again.
Yes.
Those dragons are more aware of their territory than any other. I tend to stay away. As you may have noticed from reading my book, I find the social obligations we tend to have towards one another tiresome.
Understandable.
So do you want to go have a conversation with Istanifdod then, Gwynferon?
That would seem to be our wisest next step. Of course, we'll have to find Hope and Corbin before we head out. But Max and Dentalus, I appreciate your wisdom in this matter. You've made our path much clearer.
You're welcome. Is there anything else?
No, I think we have an appointment in Core tomorrow morning. We should probably be headed that way.
The human form of Max and Dentalus rapidly returns to its large, massive draconic form, reaches over, picks up the body of that wyvern with one claw. A massive beat of reptilian wings lifts both Max and Dentalus and the wyvern from the ground, and he turns to fly off back towards the mountains.
Can I make an insight check on how smart is it to spend the night in this dragon's territory?
Sure.
That's a 14.
Max and Dentalus does not seem to care about smaller beings such as yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And he killed the wyvern that was presumably trying to set up territory in his territory.
Right.
So you're pretty certain it'll be as safe as staying in any other wilderness area, so long as you aren't a dragon or significantly sized creature trying to claim his territory.
Okay. All right.
So we're all fine. It's just the wyvern we have to be concerned about.
So long as Ice Pelt doesn't start marking things, you'll be fine.
Good. Well, as long as we don't alter the environment too much or leave too much sign behind, we can either spend the night here or we can head back towards Core and...
I mean, we can fly. We could just head back to Core.
Why do we need to head back to Core?
We'll have to get Hope and Corbin before we go to the Dragon Peaks to talk to a Stan of Dodd.
We're not going to leave them behind while we go to a different continent, Lulu.
I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying that. She looks like she's parsing words. You say you do things differently, and that's fine. And it's a little weird that you're keeping around the previous alpha and her mate, but that's fine. My question is if they're gonna come, if civilization murder isn't perfectly tied up with a bow that is preferable to Hope.
That will probably be a discussion.
So shouldn't you say, like, instead just send a message and say, if you're still with us, if you're coming, come here and we'll meet, instead of having that fight?
To an extent, from my side of things, Lulu, Hope and Corbin, if we parallel what we're doing to a hunt, I have seen far enough down the trail to realize to read the signs that in order to succeed at what we're hunting, succeed at catching and killing it as quickly and safely as possible, having Hope and Corbin along makes that more likely to go well.
Over at the tree, doesn't say anything, but when he says has seen far enough ahead, she just goes like behind Gwen's back.
For those listening at home, air quotes.
That's the air quote mark, yes.
Lulu will. Okay, but you sometimes get caught up in that, Gwen. So I don't think I'm wrong in saying that Hope's not gonna leave.
Probably not.
Then what are we doing if and when that becomes an issue, if we absolutely need them?
If it comes down to it.
Carrie reaches into her backpack and pulls out a length of rope.
And Hope and Corbin.
Here in your mind, I like that plan, but I think he'd get angry.
And Hope and Corbin are not willing to come along, and we absolutely must leave. This may be one of those times that the hunt is more important than the pack, and we will have to go by ourselves and do our best.
So the reason I suggest, instead of having that fight, giving them the space to make that decision is because that gives them the agency to decide that they're coming with us. And with that comes that they won't feel bitter about it. If you fight and argue and you're smarter than them, you'll win. Even if they come right now, they'll be anxious and bitter about that and looking to get back to something else. And if they're not going to go, neither of these options will be different.
That's fair.
So we give them maybe more than just the morning. Maybe we give them half the day and we say, we know where we're headed next. It's here. We'd love to have you. This is when and where we're headed out from. And we give them the power to decide the importance of pact to them.
All right.
Because it's so much scarier if they turn back halfway through.
Or the third option being we see how much progress they've made towards allowing the murder to be solved. And if that's something that we can resolve quickly, we could do that and get going.
I don't feel like helping those people anymore, and they don't feel like having help. So why is that part of this anymore?
Did you not already cede your leadership?
Sorry.
Your input is valued, and I understand that you dislike civilization, and I understand that you especially dislike Corbin. But the option of the most optimal option, from what I can understand, is to have everyone leave under the same banner. And if it takes a small investment of time to ensure that is done, I'd rather do that than have the risk of splitting us up. And believe me, I work with dragons. Any small number of people dealing with a dragon is a bad idea. I'd like to have it be the least bad idea. Because 4 people to a dragon are a light snack.
I don't agree with part of that. And you know that the part of that I don't agree with is I don't get it. You tell me we're not going to interfere. We're not going to help them. We're going to walk away for a little bit and let them do it themselves. And then we're assuming that a small investment of our time will have an impact on the thing we're not helping with.
Situations change. Change is a fact of life. In this regard, a small investment is in the grander scheme. It's going to take a long time to deal with dragons and potentially plan to fight dragons if we need to. Taking a day or two to solve a mystery is not a long investment of time in comparison.
So we are getting involved and solving this murder. We're not just waiting for it to solve itself.
If the situation allows it, then yes. If it doesn't, then there's nothing we can do and we need to get moving anyway. And then we will have...
Why don't we give it 2 days instead of 1 day? And during that time, we'll keep an ear out.
And that seems like a wise compromise. Here's what I would like to do. Building off of your initial idea, Lulu, I'll contact Hope, let her know that we are, unless something drastic changes, we are planning to leave for the Dragon Peaks and seek out Penarth after talking to Estavan of Dodd in 2 days. We would love to have them come along and let her know where she can meet us if they decide to. I'm also going to offer that if within those 2 days before we leave, things on their end change significantly and they find that they need our help, or even would just like our help and think we could assist, we will be willing to come back and give them a hand. But we would still like to be leaving in 2 days. That's our soft limit. And then see what they say from there.
It's a hard limit. Hope won't take it seriously, but whatever you think is best.
Okay. That's fair. No, that's a perfectly reasonable perspective. And while you all were in the cave, just so you're all aware, I did make a slight extraplanar. I talked to a very smart entity who says that it's more likely the Rangers will be able to solve the mystery if we get involved. I was unfortunately not specific enough to figure out which of the we that meant. So it might just be Hope and Corbin need to stay here and investigate and we need to go do elsewhere. Or it may be that if they're going to solve this murder, all of us should go back. I don't know.
Was this the very smart entity in your head, in your stick, or somewhere else?
Somewhere else, actually.
So I was
All right.
right. But they didn't like it. So we're exactly where we were.
You were right. You just approached it a little too abruptly and possibly not in the most socially acceptable manner, which caused there to be negative consequences because of how the system is set up. But takeaway, absolutely, you were right. They will do better if we help. Whoever the we is. But it's at least one, if not all 6 of us.
It's a shame they won't agree to that. Okay, are we going back into the... I thought you wanted to not be in the town, don't you?
I would like to not be in the town, yes. Which is why we're going to spend 2 days out here, unless we get a call. If that sounds all right to everybody.
Oh,
Sure.
I was going to ask about later. I'll figure that out.
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose I'm fine with out here. The problem is out here because apparently this is a big scaly fuckers territory. There's probably not a lot for me to kill, so I'm gonna get bored.
I see.
But that's fine. I will suffer
This is-
for your guys' convenience. and
So
not
I
kill
walked
anything
part
else.
of the way here. Most of it was through the Feywild, but there's a lot of around. There's a lot of around. Not all of it is the mountain range. We could head to a different part of around here.
Is that going to take more than 2 days though
I think we can.
to get there and get back?
John, correct me if I'm wrong. I think just walking equidistant from the city in a different direction would take us out of Max's territory.
Yeah, Max's territory. If you look at the map for the southern portion,
There's a
of the
mountain range on one side of Core,
yeah,
right?
so the area, basically Max's territory is this area down here.
Yeah.
And a little bit further south. If you guys were to, like, literally just to go out this way, you'd be out of his territory.
Okay. I figured that I'm not clear on the scale of this map.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a little unclear. But
it is fine.
yeah. The point is the other side of the capital is not in his territory, so we could be the same sort of out here. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm not asking you to run another combat for us while poor Cody and Mara have to wait for that.
Yeah.
I'm just
Also, I'm still like dying, so let's not run another
Harry's
combat.
gonna find smaller shit to kill.
So the pertinent question right now for me is, when are you sending a message to Hope or Corbin?
Hope.
Okay, what is the message that you are sending?
I am composing that as we speak because I am limited to 25 words.
Aside from that,
You don't want to gesture it?
aside from that, are you guys moving away and taking a long rest? Are you bunkering down for the night? What are you guys doing?
At some point, a long rest will happen. Yeah.
In that,
Gwyn still has a casting of the gallery left, so basically that's his default plan unless these guys come up with something better or different.
Yeah, if Harry has expressed an interest, Lulu will navigate us out of Max's territory for when to set up the gallery, but other than that.
So you guys move out of Max's territory, out into the grasslands outside the forest. Set up the gallery. Harry goes out to hunt things. You guys rest. Everyone go ahead and the 4 of you go ahead and get a long rest. And Lulu, you'll need to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna make the Constitution saving throw for the morning, and Corbin's not here to help me like he promised to, so that's fine. I can just do
that wasn't exactly Corbin's fault though.
No, it's no one's fault. It's just like I no longer have any bonuses. 14 on the waking up save.
Okay, let me pull up the character again.
I'm not restoring my hit points quite yet because I assume they're going down again.
What'd you roll?
I rolled a 14 on the save just for waking up.
Yep. So you take another. I'll roll this publicly. You take another 8 points of damage, and your hit point maximum is reduced by further 8.
Okay. That would mean
Shitty roll for 4d6, but that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
And you wake up feeling worse.
Yeah. So my plan is to continue doing the thing I was doing, but we can save that for after.
Waiting. So now we're just waiting for Jack to figure out his numerics of typing.
All right. I'm typing it in chat, but it is going to say I'm casting Sending to Hope, which means she will be able to respond. We will leave for the dragon in 2 days. If you need any help at all, call us. Meet us south of Core if coming.
So, Hope, you and Corbin have gone to get food or whatever your plans were after meeting Tithian before turning in for the night when you get this message.
What time of day is it? Is it night by
it's
this
nighttime.
point?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
nighttime at this point.
All right. You coward. Come back and meet me in the center of town. I'm going to give like a landmark name, like a statue.
There's that open field with a big tree where the angel was having duels with people until the war happened.
And that's yeah.
All right. You get that back when.
I've had my long rest, right?
Did you send that before resting or after?
The original sending happened before resting.
So you haven't had it yet.
Okay.
You will, unless you want to respond to that after you have a long rest, in which case you will.
I'll cast one more sending back then. Tomorrow at dawn.
Good.
So, everyone gets a long rest, all around. As you eventually go to sleep, you recall that Tithian had told you he would get back to you in the morning. Corbin.
Yep.
So I'm gonna need to make a lot of rolls, unfortunately, to try and get rid of the poison.
All right.
We've gone through this before, but my amplified blood curse
Let you make the Constitution saving throw again.
Yeah. So essentially, I can make 4 of the con saves.
Okay.
Does that sound right to you?
Yeah.
Yes, this is going to be a great day.
Holy!
If he has any saving throw enhancing abilities today.
Me? Gwyn?
Yes. The person who has magic and is also near me.
Okay. He will kind of...
But none of you are clerics to have enhance ability.
Right? It's the best spell. One of the best spells. Clerics get all of the best spells.
All right. I have 1. And honestly, I probably won't need this today. So, yes, absolutely. No.
It's a big deal thing. I can do it myself.
No. I assume you've expressed to Gwyn that you are feeling terrible still, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Even without expressing...
Pretty obvious.
Right, yeah.
You're still dying
Even
of
without
poison.
expressing,
Lulu
is pale, the flesh is sunken in, the eyes are completely ringed with dark bags. It looks like Lulu is dying.
The hair has gone from ratty to actively sick.
I imagine Lulu wakes up to Harry sort of peering up. Are you dead yet?
I think it's going to take a few weeks.
Okay.
And Gwyn will tap Lulu on the forehead. Foresight. Mhm.
All right,
Okay.
you have
You now have literally advantage on everything, pretty much, for the next 8 hours.
Is
Attack
that
rolls,
compensated?
ability checks, saving throws. Other creatures have disadvantage on attack rolls against you for the next 8 hours.
Okay. If you can put that in chat, that would be awesome.
Yes,
'cause
I
imagine
can.
this will come up. But I'm gonna make 4 con saves with advantage just
Yep.
because I feel like that's simpler than doing it one at a time. And I'll then
I mean,
roll.
it's a 1 minute forehead boop, but still.
You don't need to make the second 2.
Okay. So I'm only taking the damage twice. That's why I rolled
Yes,
4 times to
yes.
see how much damage I did to myself while
So you managed to focusing for a while, you managed to bleed out, basically force out this poison in your system. And you guys watch as Lulu cuts herself twice and then just sort of vomits out this bloody, gunky mess. But the mess is not red like normal blood would be. It's almost as if Lulu has... I don't know if any of you are familiar with bone powder and what bone powder looks like in its normal state, but sort of if bone powder had the consistency of grits and the color and the colorization of tar.
Oh,
That's what Lulu just pukes out all over the floor. And Lulu, you feel much better now as your hit point maximum returns to normal.
told you I'd fix it.
Nicely done.
well, it is a very good thing. Can I just say that you did this inside the temporary about to vanish
Speaking
No,
of
it-
which,
building?
Actually, just leaves. It just gets stuck in the floor then.
no, when the gallery goes away, anything
Then you leave
inside
in the
gets
gallery,
shunted back
get
into the
ejected
room.
forcibly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. But it won't be in the gallery next time we cast it, is the main thing.
Well, you get to make that determination for yourself, don't you?
And
Well, technically I do, yes.
as you are
You decide to have it show up.
as you are sort of reacting to this, it very rapidly dries out and then disintegrates.
That was somehow even grosser than when it came out of you.
Yeah.
It
so
was.
zombie magic curses of death typically don't look great.
You're not wrong.
And the ones that look great are even scarier. So,
Let me tell you, there was this time I was wandering through. I was traveling as I do. Looking
Before this discussion proceeds much further, Harry, I have an appointment back in Core. I will see the rest of you this evening.
I told you this was a bad idea.
Yes, but we did have the whole if you need help, call, and she called. So I'm going to be charitable and assume she needs help.
Okay. You're assuming.
I am assuming, yes.
Do you want me to go with you?
Not this time.
Yeah. If she wants someone specific, she should have said it.
She did indicate me specifically.
Okay. Then
All right.
I will avenge you brutally.
I appreciate that. I very much appreciate that. I will call if anything goes wrong or I need help.
Sounds good. So have you ever seen a
Teleport,
lich with
boom.
leprosy?
Meanwhile,
I mean, I step outside and then teleport, boom. But yeah.
teleport, explode because you're in.
Right, yeah.
Meanwhile, Corbin and Hope, you guys wake up, and there is a note attached to the door.
Pop it and hand it to Hope.
Look at it.
It's from Tithian.
Mm-hmm.
High Captain Lorian has requested your presence at the Core Knight Rangers guard barracks at a time that is very shortly after dawn.
Okay. What time is it right now? Dawn?
It's a little before dawn. Yeah, you got about an hour. You got about an hour before dawn, and then this is about 30 minutes after that.
Okay. All right. Well, okay.
See, the city of Korra has my works approach to scheduling meetings.
Let's tell you 20 minutes before to be at a meeting 45 minutes away.
We can make it. Let's go.
Yeah, let's
At
go.
dawn.
Head out.
Yep, we'll head to the place we're meeting.
So Gwenfron and Hope and Corbin, the three of you eventually converge at the sort of park tree area.
Not Gwen, because I was not intending to go toward. Wait, let's see.
You told Gwen to meet you at that place at dawn.
Yeah,
Did I say dawn?
you
yes,
did.
you said dawn.
You did.
You
I
very
don't remember saying
specifically
dawn.
said
No,
Okay.
I said tomorrow at dawn, and you said
Oh, yeah,
sure.
that's right. Yeah, Gwenfron said
Oh,
at dawn.
good.
You said sure.
Or
I will
good,
get
right.
there.
So
Not having I'm having that conversation separate from this. I don't want you there. Sorry.
all right, so you're skipping that, going straight to the High Captain.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gwenfron, you arrive at that tree.
Okay. And nothing?
Nothing.
Scrying.
Okay.
One hope.
Hope, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
Is it intelligence, I think?
No, it's scrying is a wisdom saving throw.
Scrying is
Oh,
wisdom.
never mind.
Natural 20.
Gwenfron, you for whatever reason, you can't hook onto Hope.
Okay, well, I'm
you
going
are-
to find the nearest food truck and have some breakfast and wait.
Okay. So, Hope and Corbin.
Yep.
Yep.
You arrive at the Rangers, at the Ranger guard barracks. There is a person at the counter when you walk in, doing paperwork.
Present the note
We have a meeting.
with High Captain.
Look at the note, look back up at you. Yeah, go upstairs. It points out down the hallway. Go up the stairs. Take an immediate left, first office on your right.
Thank you.
Head down. Follow directions.
Down hallway, upstairs, take a left, on the right. There's the door that has the sigil for High Captain Lorien on it, and it is unlocked.
How much do you think that plaque cost?
More than I made at this time last year. So
Yeah, that's true.
You open the door.
Yep.
You open the door. Inside, High Captain Lorien is sitting at a desk going over paperwork. Next to him is Ranger Captain Ranger Captain Jericho, whom you had met previously. Lorien looks up at you. He is wearing his full armor, the wolf emblazoned regalia that he normally wears. Looks up at you. Please come in. Sit down.
Thanks.
Door.
Yeah.
Door closed behind you.
Sit down.
So, Tithian said you wanted to have a meeting.
Yes.
I understand this is probably about the reason why I was having a conversation with Jericho until you arrived. He says, indicating the blonde-haired captain who just holds up a hand and gives you the most sarcastic little wave you can possibly
God.
give with that little amount of movement.
I hate him so much.
He
Okay.
is a piece of trash.
I nod in acknowledgement, like, yeah, I know.
It's impressive the
Love
amount of
this guy.
sarcasm he could put into that wave.
I
Anyways,
absolutely love this guy.
So, first of all, I want to make this clear that we're not in the habit of rewarding people who butt their noses into investigations where they're not asked. However, turns out that what we have uncovered from this particular investigation would have had us requesting assistance from the Adventurers Guild. And since we have a group of ready and willing adventurers, we figured, why the hell not? Go ahead and throw you guys to the likely danger that we're going to be throwing an adventuring group to. Sorry, I couldn't hear you, that response. What was it?
Splendid.
Oh. Be careful what you wish for. So,
What have you found out so far?
the person that ransacked and murdered through the shrine of the Eternal Flame on the docks appears to have been some form of chimera of a humanoid nature. Reports that we've been able to gather from the physical evidence left behind, as well as the magical evidence that we were able to determine, it seems to be some sort of humanoid that has attached monstrous body parts to themselves in a variety of ways. The physical strength displayed seems like this individual, at the very least, had the strength of a troll, and apparently the appetite as well, which they used to rip apart several members of the shrine. They also appear to have some form of extraplanar blinking ability, which they used to escape unnoticed. We're able to track the breaching in and out of the planar boundary, thanks to several of our rangers' particular sets of skills, to a location outside the city. Our normal tactic here would be to enlist the aid of the Sundered Templar or a group of competent adventurers from the Adventurers Guild to send into the location to try to keep the suspect from fleeing any further, and then capture or kill as needed.
So it just went in and murdered everybody.
We don't know the whys yet. That will require the body or the person.
Yeah.
A lot of the paperwork and journals left behind were destroyed in fire. We're also not 100% certain what the full extent of modification this individual has gone under. They have some sort of ability to blink through planar dimensions. They have definitively the power and hunger of a troll. What other abilities they might have, we have no idea.
How does somebody even get a troll arm?
Correct me if I'm wrong, GM, but I still remember like what was available at the shop, right? I don't remember
ideas, no specifics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be the feeling you would get. It would be like there's something somewhere that could do this, but you're not certain what or why or how. Well,
and I'm trying to remember all of because I did not take notes during that part. Didn't Captain Jericho say something about stuff was missing from the temple? Am I misremembering that?
The individual had left without walking out, sort of teleported out, was what Jericho had said. I don't know if he said anything about items missing from the temple.
Okay. I thought I heard that. Never mind.
Okay. I don't remember if he did.
Yeah.
Would somebody that's lived there, we'd be able to go into the temple, and then maybe Hope would be able to tell you if any items were missing. Maybe that might help.
Well, the thing we would be hiring you for specifically would be hunting down and capturing or eliminating the culprit.
Okay.
Once that's done, certainly you could go through the temple once we've managed to clear out some more of the debris and bodies.
There may be clues that you have not noticed because you are not familiar with the area. May I go in and see?
Jericho just sort of looks at you, tilts his head. Not being familiar with an area does not make you blind. It does not reduce somebody's ability to investigate. Presumably, being adventurers, you've gone into places that you weren't familiar with before and managed to navigate your way around and find information.
Yeah, it was a lot easier if I knew where we were, if I was familiar with it, though. That's why we have a diviner with us.
Cool. We know where the guy is. We know where we want to send you to deal with him. If you don't want to deal with him, that's fine. We can get the Sundered Templars or another group of adventurers to do it. Just figured we'd give you first crack.
No, we'll do it, but I thought you'd want to have your adventurers that you're sending in be a little more prepared than going into a
Prepared
den of
how?
something.
How exactly would you be more prepared?
By seeing if there is anything extra.
Make me a persuasion check.
Yeah. Nope. It's a 9.
Hey, he's an asshole. He probably doesn't have a great wisdom modifier.
He is an asshole. He's also a ranger.
Okay, yes. He's just a bad one.
I can still hear
Wait,
Jack
no,
laughing.
John
even though he's
God
muted.
Modball is character. So.
No, I can't really, but
Well, when he rolls a 1, it doesn't matter.
His dickishness
Yeah.
shines through.
this is a sarcastic yes.
He sort of looks over at Lorian. I really don't care. Lorian looks back up at him with this sort of fine. Look, whatever. If you guys want to go look at the crime scene, you can go look at the crime scene. Please do not destroy the crime scene or move any bodies out of it. We currently have priests in there trying to preserve the bodies so that they can be buried later. So
I
that we
like
can
the idea in my
make sure
head.
that we get all the body parts that are missing, if there are, able to get back.
I like the idea in my head that he was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then he was like, "All right, there you go." And he's like, "No, wait." He's like, "No, he already gave his approval. Let's go."
Yeah, get out of there before he
Lorian,
realizes he's being stupid. and
reaches into his desk, pulls out a piece of paper, writes something down really quick on it, rolls it up, and reaches over to, grabs a seal and some permanently melting wax, grabs it, affixes a seal to the scroll, hands it over to Hope. There. That'll get you into the crime scene.
Thanks. When did you want notification of when we're going in? Did what?
Yep, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Just let us know if you find something you think is worthwhile. Let us know. Let us know when you're going in. And we'll be here when you get back.
Good. I have to talk to some people first.
Thanks
All
for
right.
giving us first crack.
So you guys head back out. Door closes behind you.
Okay. All right.
So
Okay.
So Gwen's in the city.
Yeah. No, I talked to him and I need to talk to him. Don't know if you want to be there. Planning on
Yeah.
yelling at him a lot. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. I'm going.
Okay. Can you take this? I don't want to crush it.
Yeah.
And I'm already like just it's
I
already
take
wrinkled.
the note and I put it in one of my various pouches.
Bourbon stops on the way.
Kind of flatten it out a little bit.
A little bit.
As you walk out of the guard barracks, you once again pass by that giant goat,
Weird.
which is currently grazing on a tree.
This is good eating.
Yeah.
So you head back to the location that you told Gwynfron to meet you at.
Yep.
You get there, Gwynfron's not there.
Okay.
Gwynfron, you found like a food truck.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, like, yeah, all of 15 minutes of a food truck and then walked back to the spot and
Yep.
waited.
Important question: what are the breakfast burritos in Core like?
They're delicious.
They're pretty pretty damn tasty if you know where to go.
Yeah, it depends on where you go, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
Hope knows where all the best
food
ones
carts
are.
by the city center are not the best ones.
No,
No,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
fine.
go.
You have to find
Yeah.
a food truck that wanders around the outside of the city, so it's a bit of a walk to try and
Hope
find
knows where to
what's
find those.
moving.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of
Sorry about the noise. I broke my desk.
Oh no.
Oh shit!
It'll hopefully not drop anything until the game's over. It's fine.
Huzzah! It's basically just it's like this. What you found, Gwen, is basically a cart, an ox-drawn cart, that has a small like magical kitchen dinette set like on the back of it.
Yes.
So it just rolls around and people like walk up to it and it hands off food and it just keeps rolling around the city.
There we go.
Magical cooking to make life easier. Anyways,
He gets an omelet on a sandwich.
obviously. So by the time you guys get there, Hope and Corbin Gwenfrod is walking back up with food.
Yep. Arms crossed.
You're finally here.
Yep.
We had a meeting.
Was it with Tithian by chance, or did you already talk to him?
We talked to him last night.
Excellent.
Do you want to tell him, or should I?
Go for it.
Are you gonna just okay? Yeah, we got a meeting with Lorian. He's giving us first crack. They've figured out what it is. They want us to take care of it.
Just the three of us, or do you want everybody else?
No, we'll see. We'll see. Because currently, I don't want to go anywhere with you.
Okay.
Because you lied to me.
You'll have to refresh my memory.
When you first showed up, you were like, oh, no, it's okay that I spied on you and used magic to figure out what was going on to stalk this group, and then decided that, oh, it's okay because I have a code that says I won't mess with people when they have decided on their own destiny. And then yesterday you did that. So
Did what?
Did the same thing that Selena kept doing.
Which was?
Using magic when I can't stop it from happening, to prevent me from trying to do things, trying to make things better.
You're not making things better. You rarely make things better.
I'm trying, though, and that's better than you, Mr. Oh, no, we don't need to solve this murder that's happening here in this city. We're just going to go and find a magical artifact that one of us wants because it's cool.
No, we're going to find a magical artifact that one of us wants because it's going to help us actually put this world back together, which I'm sorry, is something of a higher rating than a couple of dead people in a temple. Not that that's not significant, but there are levels of priority. That's my perspective. I completely understand if you don't share that.
And we save a world and we make a world that sucks still.
Who says who?
Says all those dead people in the temple. Says everyone who used to go to that temple.
Oh, so you're not going to be happy with the world unless it's an absolute paradise for literally every living being?
No.
Then stop making arguments where that's the logical conclusion. Hope.
Gwen.
We're here
not be
to
important.
help. What do you need my help with?
I need to solve this.
Okay. What do we still need to know then?
Well, I'm going to go to the crime scene.
Okay.
And see if there is anything else that they missed, that they didn't notice. And
Very
then
wise.
we're going to go to this. There's a hideout outside of the city where this thing has holed up. It's a chimera of some sort. So congrats.
Right.
I'm glad it's exciting.
We'll see.
To stop it.
Well,
and hopefully it's just what they think it is, which is a monster that has gone off and decided to destroy a temple. And hopefully it's not something worse.
hopefully, yes. Do you want me to come with you to the crime scene?
Fine.
Lead on then.
This way. I'll lead the way.
Okay. So while the three of you are making your way down to the docks, the three of you outside, Kashkar, Harry, Lulu, what's your three up to?
We want to kill more things. Do we want to go into the city and get an exposition spell for Harry, so Harry believes it's about reincarnation? I'm just happy to be not miserable anymore. And also,
Well, then I feel like going into the city is a bad idea.
I absolutely hate the city.
Yes.
I'm also not dying anymore, so I'm in a significantly better mood.
Well, that's good.
That is fair. I mean, look, you put something in front of me that needs killing, I'ma kill it. I don't know. I
need to go
I'm
for a
just here to
swim.
Huh?
I need to go for a swim. I haven't had a swim for a while.
Is there an ocean that I'm not aware of that's like...
There's a giant lake on the other side of the city.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was a ways away. I thought
There's
that was...
yeah, so you can actually circle around the wall if you wanted. There is access, there's a lake where the docks are that opens out underneath an arch in the mountain that opens out to the actual sea proper.
For some reason, I thought that was by Corbin's temple inland. Never mind. Okay.
I mean,
if you want to come along, you can. I was just going to fly there. I can take both of you with me if you want.
Are you going to be killing things or just swimming?
I mean, if something comes up to try and bite me, I'll kill it. But I come from a group of seafaring raiders, and I haven't seen the sea in months.
it's a lake next to a ginormous
It'll
fucking...
do.
Yeah, it's a lake next to a ginormous fucking city.
Yeah.
I'm assuming if there's anything that's going to kill people in there, the Coordinate Rangers have probably already killed it.
You never know. Supposedly it connects to the ocean. New things can come.
Go further out.
I do not like wet fur, Harry. What do you want to do?
I don't know. I've been standing in one place for 5 minutes and I'm already bored. So
you must be fun at parties.
That we were planning on doing previously.
Huh?
I asked the GM if I'm forgetting like a plot point or something by any chance.
Nope, not yet. Not currently. You guys just want
There
to
was
go
a
hunting?
plot point from episode 2.
Yes.
John begins.
There was a plot point from 50,000 years ago. Oh,
Okay.
did you want to go hunting?
Episode 2, none of us would remember
Yeah.
in character.
No, it's fine. Yeah, Harry just starts walking in a direction. Picks a direction and just starts walking.
All right.
Ice Pelt, let's go for a swim.
So, Gashkar and Ice Pelt head to the water. Harry walks off. Lulu, are you following Harry?
Did it seem like Harry wanted to be alone?
No, just
Okay.
I've been standing in one place for too long.
I guess we're going to murder things. Maybe.
All right. So I got a question then.
Yeah.
Who are you supposedly?
They were never very specific about that, but the girl, the Eshkil's girlfriend, not Gashkar, that's Gwen's girlfriend. Eshkil's girlfriend gave him a magic ring, and the same person called me Labith. So
That doesn't even sound like a real name.
I don't disagree. But, so, did I ever tell you how I met Gwen?
No.
I'm from a land
Down under.
of...
God. I'm
Fuck
glad it
you.
wasn't me. I was so close.
We were all thinking it.
and the wild and stupid small towns that we pillage.
Right.
My guardian spirit, the one who watches over and makes my pack what we are, you've
Okay.
seen that a few times,
Yeah.
is a great wolf that's name is in my bio.
Emerok.
That's
Thank you.
that.
He's a great wolf named
That's the big
Amarok.
wolf I tried to fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
I want
is
a rematch at some point.
I mean,
I wouldn't kill him.
no,
I don't kill everybody
you
I
probably wouldn't
fight.
even be able to touch him if he didn't want you to. But like,
Anyways,
I can't arrange that one way or the other.
it's fine. Regardless,
Yeah, Amarok is an ancient and powerful spirit of the fundamental nature of the world.
Okay.
And Gwen, who had never met me, didn't know any of us, reached out, contacted him, and I don't know exactly what they talked about, but I know that Amarok was convinced that I should go and I should follow Gwen. And I know that Gashkar, well, dragons are dragons, but Gashkar had a similar experience with her dragon being convinced that Gwen knew things and it made sense, and there was also some deals. And the rest of them, including the Fire Lady you never met, had been doing things, and Gwen knew about those things and knew how those things would relate to the rest of the world being the rest of the world. I'm a little confused about that part, but I think you get that part. Before he met them and was familiar and intimate enough to make them angry.
Right.
Gwen's magic can see through time, and if he can convince creatures of great and fundamental power of the truth of his statements, I think you've noticed he's not great at lying or even telling the truth.
All right.
Yes.
So here's the thing, though. Here is the thing. If you wanted to sell a really, really good con, and you had just enough magic to back it up, you know the easiest way to do that? Pretend you're a really bad liar when it doesn't count.
Okay.
So you got to think in circles beyond.
Oh my god.
So you know better how to think smart people things, but I didn't ever learn that, so instead I learned nature, my nature, the nature around us. And I can feel those connections, and I've been in Gwen's mind, which is why I want to find something that convinces you. I think they never explain things to me because I won't get them anyways, but I think that the way to do that, and I was kind of thinking about how we could do a teleportation day trip, but I don't know how much money I have, and I don't know how much teleportation day trips cost, would be to go to the place with the God King, because apparently That's the place where people remember their past lives.
So you're saying that it's a place where just hallucinogens are rampant.
I mean, we have an Asamar who made a fundamental contract with that god to silence her other god because she's also a revenant. But then I think maybe broke that deal to become her own god. It was never really clear. There are definitely gods involved.
That definitely doesn't sound like a place where you take hallucinogens.
I know what drugs I take, and I'm immune to a lot of them. I know
just
when I'm.
saying.
Yeah, I know it's.
No, I get what you're saying, and yeah, I mean no, but sure, I'm willing to go along with you down this particular road of thought. As a thought experiment.
Here's the question. Why would he have told me that you were from that timeline and not you?
Because it sounds more credible and less like manipulation if you say it.
Also, why are so many other people who are powerful magic users that know things about world structure, including the koala, backing him up? It was a koala, right?
Yes.
No, it's
Sloth. Sloth.
Though I do like the idea that Lulu doesn't know the difference between a sloth and a koala.
Well, would either of them have been things I'd encountered in the...
Probably not.
No, neither.
Unlikely.
Unlikely.
It's very in character that you said koala.
Okay.
Including the koala, sloth. Right.
I mean,
at some point, the big conspiracy makes less sense than the person who feels honest and acts honest and has a unconvincing soul being a liar about this but nothing else.
you're not wrong. We're just not at that particular fork in the road yet. And okay, between you and me, Gwen's a pretty personable guy, and I'm not saying that I dislike him or, I'm gonna behead him in his sleep or anything. Not that I would anyways, that's not important, but you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't trusted a single word that's come out of that fucker's mouth since I met him.
That seems to be most people's reaction.
Um,
Really bad at people.
And yet here you all are.
yes, because you're giving her things to kill. Like I feel like usually with people like this, as near as I can tell, they usually have to create this grand story in order to make people feel really important and bring them along on whatever thing that they need these people for. And the funny part about it is I'm along for the ride anyways because we get to go into a cat tower and kill impossible things. So
Okay.
I'm good with it either way. I'm just saying I'm not exactly, I'm not buying what he's selling yet.
Fair enough.
Especially since he hasn't sold it to me. He told you and apparently said he was going to tell me, but never did, which is suspect.
He said that he needed to wait for the right time because he's...
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit to me.
Yeah, that part was definitely bullshit.
See?
So that's fair. The reason I tell you is because I don't get a lot of the cosmic stuff. I get what it feels like, but not what it means.
Right.
So it was important for you to know before it mattered if it's true. If it's not true, then that's great for you, and I guess great for all of us, but not really great for all of us. But because I get the sense that some of this is based on an understanding of what the tower is that's related to all of that. But if it is important for you to know and understand it, I want you to believe it and not make a mistake because you don't that fucks over everyone. Those are words that make sense.
No, that makes sense. I'm down with what you're saying. However, let me counter with, what if believing it causes me to make a mistake that fucks up everything?
So you know how Gashkar was being confusing and doing the talk circles earlier yesterday?
Yeah, and I'm not trying to do it. That's what's fucked up about this whole thing.
Neither was she.
That's fair. So I'm gonna find something that'll give you proof, intellectual proof as opposed to emotional proof. Because emotional proof's what I need, and I think what Gashkar needs. But I don't think that's what you want.
I mean, I don't feel like there's been that either. But either way, look, if it's true, awesome. I'm some what? I don't even like super assassin-y, super magic-y fucking god or something. Great. Awesome. If not, I'm still me, and me is still a fucking badass. So it's all good.
Uh-huh. I don't think it really matters, except for that it matters that we know each other. And know each other with a capitalized no? Is that how emphasis works when you write things?
Close enough. Yeah, I'll go with that.
So the two of you continue on
Yes.
into the distance to kill things that happen.
It took way
Let
too
me-
long to do that.
That's fine. That's fine. That's why I cut back, so that you can have those moments.
Yes.
Meanwhile, Hope, Corbin, and Gwynfron, you arrive at the shrine of the Eternal Flame. The crowd has cleared out. There is now just a cordon of rangers, sort of like 4 or 5 rangers, just sort of patrolling the outer perimeter, making sure nobody breaks back in or anything like that. One of them stops you as you approach. You show the letter. They let you through.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you step inside the shrine. So this is the first time that you've been able to see it. There is a priest in here that you can very easily identify as part of the Sundered God, from the half black, half white robes they're wearing, who is who is very carefully stepping around the carnage and gore in order to maintain the magic that is preserving the bodies until they can be appropriately identified and reassembled and buried. The first thing that you notice is the pair of legs that are sort of laying in the door. Blood and gore just spattering around as the internal organs that were once this person are sort of scattered around. You see a torso that has bite marks ripped out of it, has sort of bite chunks ripped out of it. The robe that has been torn apart. There is no head or left arm associated with this body. You continue on, and there are many other bodies in here, some that looked like they were acolytes of the shrine, some that looked like they were just worshippers that happened to be in here at the time, torn apart as if a tornado of teeth and claws ripped through the building. There are claw marks on the walls, claw marks on the altar. The large there was a large golden icon of fire over the main altar, underneath which there was this sort of ever burning bowl of flame. The bowl of flame has been extinguished, and the icon shattered. Behind the altar, there is a body similarly torn to pieces, wearing robes that you find familiar, for the head priest of the shrine. You can give me an investigation roll.
Yeah. $28.
But looking around the scene, you find evidence that whatever started it from within the building. Somebody didn't bust through the front of the building and start tearing people apart. The epicenter of violence happened right next to the podium, right next to the altar where the head priest was standing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You see evidence that the violence just sort of radiated out very rapidly. It seems like the people that were trying to flee the building, the farthest they got were the pair of legs by the door. That was the farthest anyone got away from it. And there is no evidence of anything leaving either, which supports what the Rangers have told you about whatever it was that did this has the ability to blink through the planes and likely did so to leave. There are claw marks on the floor that seem to indicate that whatever it was, at least at the time of killing, did not have feet, but had claws in place of feet. It's very difficult to get much more information from this main room. You do know that there's a back room where sort of like the acolytes rested, where your room used to be. If you wanted to go further in, that's kind of what you find out in the main room, is just blood and guts and gore.
Oh my.
And I use my divine sense to detect if this place has been desecrated.
Yes. Go ahead and you activate your divine sense. Can you put it in chat for me?
Yep.
Hope goes into the next room without saying anything.
I'll just walk off and take a deep breath in the air.
It has not been desecrated, but you can tell from the feeling that it was hallowed previously, and that hallowed nature is gone.
Okay. So, like, just the lingering sense of it used to be. Okay.
For mechanical clarifications, if you have hallowed and desecration as good and evil, it is neither of those. It is now in the middle.
Now it's just regular land.
Yeah.
Yep. That's a crime scene. Yeah, go into the next room.
All right. So you step back into the back room. This one's much cleaner. It seems like most of the people were in the main room. There's less blood here. There doesn't seem to be. Most of the blood seems to have just been splashed back from somebody who was killed, like sort of right next to the door. You step in and you remember this room. This is the area that sort of connects off to bedrooms and storage closets. So a prep area for the initial things. This is where the tools that were used to clean and maintain the temple were. You can give me an investigation roll if you like.
Yeah. 31.
The clearest and most obvious signs of disturbance here are from the Rangers themselves. You can tell that they came back through here to investigate to see if there was anything that would lead to more information back here. It doesn't seem like they found anything, and looking around, at least in this room, doesn't seem like there's anything to find. There's no journals or loose papers or anything that are here. Any of the documents that would have been used for the daily worship would likely be out on the altar. And in fact, you saw there were some out on the altar, which were the standard scripture that they would use for daily worship.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And said something about most of the like paperwork and stuff got destroyed in a fire. Do I think he's referring to my fire when I left, or like a fire that happened?
You're pretty certain, like when you were looking around outside, I should have clarified, there were like bits of paper that were charred around the altar and things. You're pretty certain that's what he was referring to. Yeah.
Okay. Was that paper? If I had glanced at that paper, would I have seen like that was just like notes? Did it seem like it was trying to burn records?
It looked more like it was. It looked more like it was incidental burning, not like somebody specifically grabbed these things and threw them on a fire.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would have been the scripture for the worship and things like that.
Cool.
Gwyn will be out and in the main room, and he'll sort of tap a thumb along Weaveborn. Let's see what we can find, and cast Detect Magic through the staff.
Okay. So while Hope is sort of investigating the back room, Gwynferon, you see in the middle of the room this tear, or this recently repaired tear in the weave.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like you're definitely seeing the evidence that somebody planned or traveled from this sort of the center of the room out.
Okay. Are there any other weird snarls or alterations to the weave that have left any residual magic?
Give me an investigation roll.
Oh, okay. Christ. I'm going to use a lucky on that one. That's more like it. Natural 20 for a 31.
So you go up towards the altar, because in most temples that tends to be the epicenter of divine magic.
Mm-hmm.
There was an enchantment on the bowl that has been shattered, and you can sort of see the residual aspects of that enchantment that is just gone. There was also, looking at the pieces of the icon above it, there was an enchantment on that as well, which has also been destroyed.
Am I able to pick up any sense of the school of magic that either of these enchantments would have been?
Give me an Arcana roll.
Okay. 18.
Looking at it, hang on a second. The icon, you cannot identify a school of magic on.
Okay.
The bowl, however, this sort of bowl that has like ashes and bits left in it, had an evocation, some sort of evocation spell associated with it.
Interesting. Can I make a religion check to try and determine what the significance of the bowl might have been and what the likelihood that I'm... All right.
Give me a religion check.
23.
You're pretty certain that this was a hallow spell, and the bowl is probably the item that was enchanted to hold it.
Right. Okay.
Looking at it, and taking in general clues from the shrine and decor around you, you're pretty certain there was probably an eternally burning flame here that, so long as it burned, the hallow spell was active, and the place was hallowed ground when the flame was extinguished forcibly, and would have had to have been magically extinguished as well, because that's not the kind of thing you could just dump water on.
Right.
It would have broken the spell. Looking at the icon, whatever it was, the icon was also magically enchanted, which means that it's difficult to break magic items.
Yeah.
So whatever did this was able to extinguish the hallow spell and destroy the magic item that was the icon, which indicates a level of power.
Yeah. Yep. Huh. Is my investigation leading me to believe single actor?
Probably.
Okay.
As far as you can tell, single. There doesn't seem to be any evidence of a secondary individual.
Okay.
So whatever did this is the same thing that tore apart all the people. Is the same thing that teleported out.
Okay.
You're starting to understand why the word chimera might have been applied.
Mm-hmm.
As there are many evidence of many different things, but all being attributed to one thing.
One actor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Hope, back in the back room. Are you going any further in, or what?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay. There's the door that leads to your room. There's the door that leads to the sort of the standard acolyte room, and there's the door that leads to the high priest's room as well as to a storage unit.
I don't want to go in my room, so I'm gonna go to the other ones first. Let's do storage room first.
All right, you open up the storage room. It's dusty. It's filled with brooms, dustpans, various other supply. It's a supply closet.
So boring. Okay. Go toward the acolytes area as well.
You open the door. Fairly well kept, less dusty than the rest of the area. There's a closed window on the far wall, shining light through from the outside. There are racks of acolyte robes, several of them freshly cleaned or were freshly cleaned previously, hanging, waiting to be used by people who will never use them again. Couple of beds, neatly capped, one a little bit more of a mess.
Which one's the messy one?
Far right, up in the corner, there's a bed that's like it looks like basically where the other beds look like they were somebody got out of them, fitted the sheets and maintained them. This one was the person that just sort of threw the blankets off and got out of bed without making it.
Yep. I'll make the bed.
You make the bed.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna go in the priest's room.
Okay. This one is a much more orderly room with there is a large tome that is sort of the priest's archive and journal. That seems to have been untouched, aside from a ranger probably coming through and sort of opening up and flipping through it and closing it back. Bed is maintained and kept. There's a closet with additional robes that match the robes of the one of the bodies out in the front room, and various icons to the eternal flame.
Okay. There's a journal.
Yes.
I'm gonna flip through it because I can't talk to it. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen anybody that looks like them, right?
No.
Yeah.
Other than the one that was torn apart.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna look through the journal.
Are you looking for anything in particular?
Yeah, I'm looking for anything that's far back when I first arrived here.
Give me an investigation check. It's a fairly large and ponderous tome.
22.
So, flipping through, you're sort of flipping through fairly slowly as you're trying to sort of like reading, starting from the beginning, figuring that somewhere closer to there is where it's going to be. A lot of the entries that you find in the beginning are flipping through, reading basic sort of maintenance of the temple, maintenance of the hallowed spell, the eternal flame itself that sort of keeps this place alive and well. At a certain point, you find that there was there's an entry about how the priest, during a particularly bad thunderstorm here on the docks, was outside, sort of battening down aspects of the temple that could be loose because the main sort of worship area is open with
Yep.
no real doors. You have to go in, and whenever there's a very bad storm, you have to go and you anchor down the any wall hangings and make sure nothing is loose that's going to get blown around. The area itself is going to get wet, but that could just be cleaned up later.
Yep.
And the Eternal Flame obviously has no problem, or did at least. The docks had flooded, and he purports. The journal talks about how he had to wade down through the docks to anchor, wade down from the temple to the docks to anchor his sort of fishing boat that he has. That's right there, just in front of the temple.
Mm-hmm.
And when he did, he found a basket sort of floating in the rain-soaked fishing boat, and in it was this little child that he describes, with no sign of how the child got there, what it was doing there, who left it, where it came from. Not even no sort of note or anything. And he found it interesting that on this most chaotic of days, where there is absolutely no way that anybody should or needs to be outside, this little child, this little girl, had found her way in this basket to a shaded and sheltered spot of the ship, and so was not being rained on, was perfectly protected from the weather, and was sleeping perfectly sound. And something about that dichotomy stirred emotion in him, and he determined that he would take the girl back to the temple and name her Hope, as the idea of when you're lost in a rainstorm or in turbulent waters, the hope of Fair Harbor is what keeps you alive, and it seemed to have kept her alive. You flip past that page. The journal continues on, talking about raising a little girl in a temple, about her being fairly troublesome, but how he didn't necessarily mind, and the adventures that she shared with another girl her age occasionally, and eventually entry about the day she left, and how she sort of left his life in pretty much the same way she entered it. This just gone one day, much like how she just showed up. And the worries of a parent whose child was gone, but at the same time, this sort of divine understanding that throughout her life, something had been protecting her, keeping her safe. And he's pretty certain that's going to keep happening. So I wasn't too terribly worried. The last page of the journal, which you eventually flip to, he notes that he had a dream, some sort of vision, the night before, about Hope, as he notes her, returning to the temple. And he was really excited, because he hadn't had a vision about her in a while. And he, being a man of faith, visions are important. Thinking about how, well, if that's true, then maybe I'll get to ask about her adventures and see where she's been. And that's where the journal ends.
I go in my room, my old room.
You open the door, and you find a perfectly preserved room. It is exactly how you remember it.
Damn it.
Unchanged, unused for by any storage. The window still open from when you left. You sort of imagine the work that would have had to have gone into to keeping this room looking that good with a window constantly open when it rains, but
And I'm gonna sit on the bed and sort of lay down and stare up at the ceiling, and there's like some water spots that are super just, they look like a character, like a vague caricature. I got very invested in just staring at that and just imagining stuff, all the water spots.
okay.
And just I'm gonna use, and because I never get to use this because we're never close enough. Am I within a mile of where this like the lair is? The way it was described?
No.
Damn it. God damn it. I have to be within a mile. All
The
right.
city itself is several miles across. You're at the far end of the city.
All right. Never mind. All right.
There's a splash. There's a half-orc and a wyvern hit the lake.
In the far distance, nowhere near the shrine, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You're not near it. This is
No,
a
I didn't
very
think they
big
would be.
river. Consult the spirits.
Okay.
And if we go
These-
in there, I want to know if we go in there without the rest of the group. Is what I'm asking. If that is going to be a good idea, I will cast a spell real quick. There it is.
So you consult your spirits, and again, these blue ethereal figures appear around you. And there's a new one that wasn't there previously. It's this familiar figure of a priest wearing robes that you've seen recently hung up in a closet. And in response, if going into this lair without the rest of your party would be a good idea,
Yep.
you get a negative response.
Okay.
And as the various spirits of your ancestors fade, the one that is of the priest lingers momentarily with a hand on your shoulder before fading away. Meanwhile, Corbin, Gwynfron, you're out in the front room. Hope has gone into the back.
Find anything? I can tell that whatever hallowed this place isn't anymore. It's not desecrated, but it's not the same place it was.
So, Cody, it sounds like you're really far away from your mic.
I have shitty headphones.
Yeah. Maybe if you can bend it closer to the front of your face or something, I don't know.
It's a powerful entity, whatever it was. Broke the enchantment that was keeping this place sanctified. That's what that bowl used to be, I believe. And then right about here, and because Gwyn is stupid and impulsive, he reaches out and tries to pull the opening open.
Oh God.
It just sort of, your hand passes through it. You can't. This is just the ephemeral.
Right.
This is the ephemeral
Like a star.
lingering of a ring.
Good.
Yeah.
Can't interact.
Good.
You can just
I'm
see
kind
it.
of glad.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
kind
like-
of glad.
It's a hologram you can put your hand through.
I mean, I've grabbed other parts of magic before, but not this one, apparently. Okay.
Seems like you can only grab active magic.
That makes sense. Right about here is where it carved a portal out and left.
Okay. Well,
And it was just one thing, so
they told us they know where it is. So we just wanted to see if there was an ulterior motive for why this happened here.
oh, motives I could hardly bear to guess.
Yeah.
If it had
It's-
something against, because this is a temple to the Sundered God, right?
No, this is the temple to the
No.
eternal,
The Eternal Flame.
Oh, Eternal Flame.
which is a minor deity.
Right.
Yeah.
If it had something against this, I mean, we're both aware of the demonic corruption in the tower and the fact that that's been spawning cults on the exterior. Could be a manifestation of one of those, I suppose. Member, adherent.
Can I look over the bodies that are on the ground and see if it looked like there's any if they had non-life threatening injuries, like if these people were mostly killed slow or mostly killed quick?
It's very easy to tell that they were
Some of
ripped apart.
Okay.
So,
Alright, yeah.
like,
All of them
all of them were.
were. Okay.
Whatever
Alright.
killed them quick, and not necessarily efficiently, but violently.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. Well.
But the fact that it could shatter an enchantment of that power and possibly more, there's some remnants of a disrupted spell on that shattered icon up there. This is not a simple
Is it
or
important enough now? This could happen to more people. That's the whole reason that we're still here.
I'm well aware of the motivations for you and Hope for staying here, yes. And I never said this wasn't important. I simply said there were other things that were probably more important. But here we are. And if we know where this thing is, then gathering our forces and murdering it as quickly as possible is probably our best option.
Well, that seems appropriate, and I'm sure there will be multiple people happy to hear that specific plan.
I will leave the final decision, of course, up to Hope, but I would definitely, I think, recommend having as overwhelming forces as possible at our disposal.
Yeah. If it could kill this many people before they left.
Unfortunately, well, I don't know what the relative
Yeah.
powers of the priests and such that officiated at this particular shrine were.
And you can tell just by looking around, at minimum, because it's hard to tell with body parts missing. There's about 20 people dead in this room.
See, that's the problem. It's not that it was brutal or sadistic. That's whatever. It's that it was inefficient. That's what offends me.
There's,
Mind that you're naughty, Jack. I hate that you're sloppy.
Yes, exactly.
It's hard to tell because of the sheer volume of gore and missing parts. About at minimum 20 people, maybe more.
But yes, this thing will require a cautious approach, especially considering, well, Honestly, the teleportation is what bothers me the most. That and its ability to shatter enchantments.
Do I come out at this point?
Do you?
Yeah. I don't know how long I had been in there
Yeah,
reading.
no.
We need to find the others. I remembered what this. I thought of what this. Sorry. Reminded me of. It was one of the generals of Kalen, the guy with the pyramid, or the fortress, sandcastle fortress thing. That was, they like to cut off people's hands and feet. So I don't know if that, maybe, I don't know. We're good. Let's go. Can
Yes,
I?
that was convincing.
Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
Can I have the beacon back?
Of course.
Take that. I will begin to attune to it again.
Okay. Reattune to the beacon. Lawful Hope returns.
If we need the others, I will give them a call.
Or we could just meet them out there.
I can use the spell that you gave me to ask Lorian if he can tell us where to find this thing.
Specifics would be good.
It's in the documents that you were given.
I thought he just gave us the one letter.
Yeah, he also gave you.
Okay.
I was
He said
skimming
it was
over
just
it because we were trying to move
Told you
along.
where it was.
Yeah.
Yes, you have
We'll just
Then-
go
you have
and,
the information for where it is.
and let him know that we're headed out.
Well, I
And
can
then-
use message to send him that.
Yeah, or you can use it to let the rest of the group know to meet us there.
I can take care of that.
Okay. Let's go.
Roughly how many words do you think I need to accurately describe the location of where this thing's lair is?
Less than 25.
Okay. So it's basically Gashkar gets a sending. The murderer is in this place. Meet us there for killing.
Send another message to Harry and Lulu. I'm separate from them right now.
So walking behind the pair of you, Hope and Corbin hear Gwyn just go, God damn it.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Same message to Lulu.
Have you told Gashkar she's not with us right now?
Yes.
I am not responding to that one.
There's a
You know
there's
what?
this-
Okay, I found. So we're going after the murderer because reason, and if we're fighting the Rangers again, you're fighting them with me. I think.
Dude, if we're
Because-
fighting, okay, if we're going after the murderers and we're fighting Rangers, that means the Rangers are murderers and I can kill the Rangers, and I am down with that.
I am 99% sure that these Rangers are all murderers.
You know what our
Yeah, it
group name
depends
should
on
be?
The question is more if they're gonna attack us for daring to help them solve a murder case this time.
I mean, they're undoubtedly practitioners of Ranger brutality. I will agree with you on that.
So, it's
Fucking
Rangers-
A.
so does that mean when I kill something, it's not murder, it's blood hunter brutality? Because I'm okay with that.
No, because the people who are in charge here have said
Nah.
it's okay for them to do it. Society is bullshit. We all agree on this. Let's just
We're
go.
gonna go
kill-
murder something now.
Yes.
What should our group
Or
name
I
be, Hope?
waste a werewolf form getting
We're
annoyed at.
just, I don't know. I don't have anything like specific, but it should definitely be related to the fact that we
So I
never
know
stick
nothing about
together.
this. We're just going to this place.
Just random bits. We're just random pieces.
Well, if we're going to
Right.
give ourselves a group name, we're going to have to come up with Articles of Confederation first.
Oh God.
there's a splash from the lake as
Are
Gashkar
never having a group.
basically rockets out of it on Ice Pelt's back and flies over, probably spotting them and heading down toward them.
Not in the
Yo,
city
we're
you
killing
wouldn't, but you'll
shit.
spot Harry
Assuming the
later on.
halflings are just headed for the place that
Yeah.
Lair is.
I would have to fly over the city to get there, wouldn't I?
Yes, but it's really hard to spot 3 people in a city.
They're on the docks, aren't they?
No, they're moving.
No,
through
we're in
city.
the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're in the streets and we're like weaving through stuff because
I would like
I
you to.
have a feature.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
like you to fly over New York and pick out 3 people.
I don't know. Ask Spider-Man.
Spider-Man cannot do it either.
Yeah,
It's true. You can't.
So ask Lockheed, actually. I was trying to think of a Marvel Universe dragon that could fly around New York.
Lockheed definitely cannot do it.
I will use my message to sending to let Lorian know that we're getting ready to go after the.
you get an
Creature.
affirmative in
The DC
response.
Universe has
So-
multiple cities.
I would argue that the dragon that runs that powers Excalibur's Nazi train might be able to do it.
Oh
I
dear
think
God.
We're having this conversation on stream because I feel like that's a weird statement regardless of context.
Exactly. That's where I wanted to leave it off. Go ahead, John.
Speeding ahead through various means, of which we're not going to get into, the 6 of you regroup just outside of what seems to have at one point in time been a mausoleum of some sort. You find yourselves there's outside the city of Core, there are various smaller settlements and areas and villages and things all over dotting the grasslands. Not all of them are the big named ones that are along main roads. They're just random little hamlets and towns. You find yourselves standing outside of what seems to have at one point been a random little hamlet or town that has since been long ago trampled by some warring faction or another. And all that really remains, aside from derelict and abandoned buildings, is a long disused graveyard within which there was a crypt or mausoleum. And the indications that you were given was that the sort of the planar rips that that rangers were tracking led them to this area. As you approach, a group of Cornite Rangers sort of stand up out of nowhere, and approach you with their bows at the ready, but not aimed at anything.
I'll walk forward and present the.
You
note
guys, the
from
adventurers they were
We've
sending in?
all come together here.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead, stand up. That just makes it easier to chop your knees off.
Harry, please.
These
1
aren't
second.
who we're
This
fighting.
close to killing the thing
This
that needs
isn't
to
what
be
we're
killed.
fighting.
By the way, why didn't we just go here anyways? This is like if I had seen this person, I would be like, "Yep, this is where the murderer is." Doesn't matter what the
Lots of places
situation
like
was.
this.
I didn't know.
We seriously could have just wandered around outside of the city looking for suspicious caves and killed all the things we found in them.
I'm putting a moratorium on this discussion until we get inside, everyone.
All right.
Sake, thank you.
The Rangers look confused. These are just random schmuck Rangers that track things. They're not
Right.
right. So I take it you're the adventuring group. One in the
Yeah.
back goes, "Why can't they ever get a normal group of fuckers?"
Okay, because I have enhanced hearing. You know, normal adventurers, they shouldn't be adventurers.
The the Ranger just lets it go.
Point us in the right direction.
Right. Well, we tracked the creature. Haven't seen it yet, but we know we've been able to confirm that it's inside there. From magical scans, it seems like it basically has set up a nest of some kind. We're not 100% certain with what we're dealing with, so
When
I hope you guys have a better idea.
can you prevent it from teleporting out?
Potentially, if I'm very close to it.
All right.
I
For
don't
the
know how to
record,
think of that. But I did
this
ask
is-
what we do know about it.
What you know, so assuming you guys have shared
Yeah.
information,
Mhm.
you know that it is some sort of humanoid chimera. some sort of individual that has, uh, at the very least, ostensibly was human at one point, that has tremendous strength, the kind of strength that trolls are typically associated with. Also, many others, but that's the one that they thought of initially because it also seems to be carnivorous enough to eat bits of the people that it was killing.
Okay.
It has tremendous strength. It eats whatever it kills, or it eats aspects of whatever it kills, not all of them. It's very messy in that matter. It's very quick to have killed 20 people before any of them could get out of the shrine. It is apparently able to. It is either very stealthy or has a lot more teleportation capabilities than you necessarily believe it does. It has some level of planar teleportation ability where it can blink between planes. It has power enough to destroy magical artifacts, including whatever the enchantment on the golden flame icon was, and whatever was happening with the bowl, with the bowl that had the hallow spell. It seems to. There's no idea what its motivation is currently, or how it came to be. And that's pretty much all the information you've got.
So,
Sorry, no, I was misremembering how Blood Curse of the Eyeless works.
So before we move any further, Gashkar kind of turns to Hope. Hope, what does this fight mean to you?
A lot. I want to kill it. Or I want to know why it did what it did first. But then I want to kill it.
Hey.
This is something important to you. Then the call for war is made, she says, and she reaches into a bag underneath some of her armor and just comes back with her hands sort of her hand sort of coated in ash, and just kind of reaches out to make a mark across your forehead, and then draw the similar one across her own face.
You got ash on your face now.
Thanks.
That face looks like ash.
It usually does. She's kind of pale and sickly looking.
The whole revenant thing.
Yeah.
Yep, kind of comes with the territory.
Very
Gwyn nods and all right. If this thing seems to have offensive magics, you may want to group up around me when possible. I have a few things that can help significantly with that.
If it has offensive magic, then there might be a concern about us grouping up in case, one fireball is going to kill you all.
There weren't fireballs. I know what that looks like.
But if it has multiple
It
abilities,
might have something.
yeah.
I think it's mostly the magic it has is mostly things added to it,
Okay.
True.
from what I could tell.
Do any of us have that sort of tampered down teleportation at all?
I have a chance at that. Yes.
I mean, the simplest way to go about this would be like,
It's got a body part that seems to be obviously from some teleporting beast. Rip it off.
well, yeah, we're gonna have to absolutely, and we're gonna have to improv once we get in there a bit, but like, Corbin and I keep it busy and distracted while you guys fuck it up.
If it does any,
I don't have any questions about how to kill it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm more confused, especially if we're fighting in its den, about how we're gonna stop it and make it answer our questions.
Oh, we just make sure that we don't kill it at the end. We knock it unconscious. Hopefully that's possible. Granted, I know it's important, but if it's not possible, it's not
Tear it to
possible.
bits.
We're on board with that, right?
Tear it to bits so it can't go.
Right. If we can, yeah, absolutely. Once it gets down to looking like it's close to dead, we'll start smacking it over the head with the blunt ends and shit and that sort of thing. But
Leave the head intact because there's magic that can let you talk to the dead.
valid point.
Also true. Well,
I'm not gonna remember. The one thing cities are good for is having people who can do various kinds of magic.
Mm-hmm.
We've got hands. Gwen, your magic is awesome, but we might want to stock up on kinds of magic that Gwen can't do.
that's fair.
I've got some stuff.
Later. Yeah.
I assume I've had enough time to attune.
Yes, you've had enough time to attune to the.
Unless we can convince your elemental magisters to do the same thing they did before when we were fighting Umbra.
That'd be an amount of preparation. I don't think.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
do we have time for that? We are currently sitting outside the monstrous thing's lair. It
Yep.
might-
I don't really want to wait. If you think they will agree quickly, then we can go back. But otherwise, it's here.
It's here.
All right, cool.
All right.
Do this shit.
So you descend.
Yep. On the way in, by the way, I look over at the Rangers and say, "Oh, by the way, if they wanted normal, they would have just gone with the guys guarding the outside and waiting for us." And I continue my way on.
One of them sort of looks kind of offended. Then the one that had been talking to you initially goes, "Scream really loud if you die, so we'll go find more."
That's a good plan.
We're not
I
gonna find
usually
more
do.
guards if you die, losers.
I mean, they're just doing their job. They know they can't handle this. Let's just go kill the thing.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're bitching about us because they know they ain't us.
Exactly. They can't do what you do.
Why do I surround myself with high schoolers?
One could say
What's
they
that?
hate us, but
So you head down into the lair. You eventually find yourselves in what have previously been a series of like leveled out catacombs that are no longer leveled out catacombs. It seems like all the stonework and area that had been sort of laid out previously has been obliterated. And instead of a level floor, you find yourself looking down into a large, emptied pit with various states of decayed carcass, from fresh, apparently they brought some of the bodies with them, to long dead, scattered around with broken coffins and broken stone. In the sort of at the far end of the room, hunkering down, you see this silhouette that seems, and it can hear the sounds of something feral eating.
So
Right.
far side of the room there was catacombs, so there were like, depending on what type of catacombs they are, but hollowed out areas for like coffins or bodies to go into. Are there any of those kind of remaining? What is the cover?
There isn't really. There's a bunch of rubble. All
Okay.
of that has been reduced to rubble in piles, various around. You can get cover in. You can take cover behind some of the piles of rubble. Some of them are large enough for that.
Mhm.
That's just sort of like, it's basically like if you took a catacomb, like imagine a structured catacomb that has like maybe 4 levels.
Yep.
Now imagine, without disturbing the ground around it, taking a wrecking ball through it.
Yep.
And that's sort of what you have here. The space where the
Okay.
catacombs were is still intact, but the structure of them has been reduced to rubble.
Got it. And it's on the far side. How far?
It's about, you imagine it's probably about 100 feet away from the door you're at, and then down about 40 feet.
Okay.
Gwyn uses his Weaveborn to cast invisibility on himself.
Gwyn Ferron disappears.
Mastermind and the
Still here,
mastermind
guys.
in this Dungeon Keeper game just decided I don't need any of these rooms anymore.
All right. So,
Down, sneak toward it. We want to kind of surround it, pin it against a wall.
Everyone can give me stealth checks if you'd like to get closer quietly. Gwyn Ferron, you have advantage because you're invisible.
I also have advantage because I have awesome armor.
And you have foresight, so you have advantage on literally everything.
That is also right. Thank you.
Stealth.
Thank you, Jack.
Hey!
31. Nice, Gashkar.
That's still up.
Yes, yours did.
No, I asked.
7.
Oh God.
Foresight.
So-
yeah, Harry.
Harry sort of hangs back and watches as the rest of you stealth ahead.
Okay. I was thinking Harry goes boom, 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 because before we went in, there was a whole there was maybe not necessarily discussion, but there was discussion, and someone said too. So Corbin and I keep it busy while you
Yeah, I'm
guys
not
start
going far
planking it from
Harry. I'm
behind.
just going off to the
That's what
side
Harry's
a little
thinking.
bit.
So she's like, "Doonky, doonky,
Okay.
doonky,
Okay.
doonky." Right.
Rechanging my narrative description then.
What happens?
Everyone
People
scatters off to either one side or another, getting behind cover. Harry just walks forward to the edge, grabs the edge, climbs down, turns around, walks straight out towards the thing. As Harry gets past the cover of rubble that the rest of you have acquired and realized, oh wait, Harry is, you hear this growling sound as the silhouette turns around. What you see, what at one point was probably an orc of some kind, maybe a human that has just undergone really extensive modifications, has this sort of orangish, or like sort of ruddy orange skin complexion, large muscular jawline with fangs and teeth that do not seem to equate with a normal humanoid individual. Isn't wearing anything, completely nude. In place of a right arm, there is a limb that is much longer and ganglier and razor's edge than an orc's arm would normally be. It looks like somebody ripped off the arm of some sort of beast, like a troll or something, and just stapled it on. In the middle of its stomach, there is a large eye that blinks as it turns to look at you. Embedded all down its left arm are 7 more eyes, from the shoulder into the bicep, into the forearm, into the palm, into the elbow. It has extending out of its back several differently colored tendrils, 2 sort of dark ebony ones coming out of the shoulders, and then 4 more flesh-colored ones coming out of its lower back. Its legs end in what look more like bird or dragon talons than feet. And what is left of it that is humanoid is musculature that is also covered with sort of a scaled hide rather than normal flesh, but still the same color as its flesh. It has no hair, and its eyes glow with this vibrant red, intense light.
Harry just grins and says, "Hi, I'm gonna wear your skull like a hat."
And as it opens its mouth to unleash some form of unholy sound, that's where we're going to end for this week. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Goodbye.